comic book fans, and welcome to another exciting edition of Cammy's Comic Corner. I'm your host as always, Cammy. Now, we got a good week this week, and we also have the winner announced for the first Cammy's Comic Corner Fan Appreciation Contest. So, be sure to stick around to the end and see if you are that winner. Yes, you. But in the meantime, let's get on to the pick of the week. From Vertigo Entertainment, we have Scalped number 27, written by Jason Aaron, and art by Francesco Francavilla. Now, we get another little backstory issue. So exciting, because last time we got one on Diesel. This time, we get to understand a little bit better why Agent Bayless Nitz is such a cranky bastard, and why he's so obsessed with taking down Red Crow. Well, many, many years ago, on the reservation, 2 FBI agents were murdered and scalped, and apparently we find out that Bayless had quite the connection with these 2 agents, because while he was first beginning on the force, while in the FBI, he was stabbed, his whole stomach sliced open from this one, random thug on the street. And he was gonna die, but his 2 friends, Bayer and Bernstein, were the first ones on the scene, and they made sure he survived, and they became the best of friends. And while he wanted to take revenge outside the courthouse, like in Batman Begins, where Bruce Wayne has the gun ready and he's going to pop him, they tell him, no, there's a time and place for everything. And sure enough, they surprise him a little later with having the perp tied up in their trunk, and they say, like, happy birthday, go ahead and go to town on him. And Nitz says he wants a knife. He doesn't want a gun. He doesn't want to make this easy. He wants to make sure this guy feels the same pain that he went through. So when he finds out later that his 2 friends, his 2 best friends, are killed on the reservation, and Red Crow's the top suspect, you can understand why he has this die-hard mission to make sure Red Crow gets justice. And at one point, Red Crow does have a gun in his face while Nitz is trying to get a forced confession from the guy. But Red Crow doesn't budge. He knows what's up. And at the end of the issue, we found out in the evidence bag that it is their scalps that were recovered by Diesel from Red Crow's office. And, it's a DNA match, and Nitz is still going to get his revenge sooner or later. Great character piece. Jason Aaron has shown us that no one in this little universe of his is nice, or has a conscience, or is someone you want to have a beer with. Now on to the Fast 5.
Boom, 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 boom. Ping.
First up, from Marvel, we have Cable number 13. Now, this is part 2 of the Messiah War. It started last week. I had it as my Fast 5 because I enjoyed it. And it's basically Deadpool in this issue explaining how he got there, and how he was pretty much locked in a refrigerator for the past 800 years. Then when he finally got out, and he was getting in touch with the times, Strife puts him to work under his command. And even Deadpool goes, okay, I even knew. Even he was crazy by my standards, so I decided not to work for him. And then we discover Logan's really pissed at Nathan for raising Hope the way he did. He was supposed to take Hope and, raise her as have a proper education and whatnot, and make sure she lived out her life peacefully, not in this hellhole all these many years later. And just when things are about to get nasty between Nathan and Logan, Strife's foot soldiers make their move. So next issue in X-Force number 14, we're going to discover what happens. This is definitely an event that I'm signed on to, that's for sure. Next up, from Boom Studios, we have Irredeemable number 1. Now, Mark Waid knows that he can't compete with DC and Marvel when it comes to superheroes. However, this is just an interesting little test for Boom Studios to see if they can support and gain readers with their own superhero title. So basically in Irredeemable, we have this one hero called the Plutonian, and he's kind of like, the Superman of this universe. One day he decides, what if I just stop being a hero and start becoming evil, like a supervillain? Why not I just do that? And we find him hunting down his ex-teammates. And the remaining survivors, they're pretty scared, and now they're having to try to come together and decide what to do next on how they're going to take this guy down, because it's pretty scary. It's like mere mortals going up against Superman. So I was really intrigued by this issue. I'm willing to stay on board and see where it goes from here. Next up from Marvel, we have Dark Reign Fantastic Four number 2, as usual by Mr. Jonathan Hickman. And so Hammer cut the power in the Baxter building just as Reed Richards was trying out his interdimensional portal. He's trying to do research on seeing how many different scenarios, other dimensions that had a civil war, how it was dealt with, whether it was peaceful or negative, and how many of them were completed by peaceful actions instead of what happened in their universe. Well, it turns out that he acted alone in every single scenario. It didn't help Hank Pym or Tony Stark. It was just he who acted alone. So that was a big shock to him, and he wants to see if something else could have happened. Meanwhile, first we saw Ben, Sue, and Johnny in prehistoric times fighting monsters. Now, because of the time flux, they're getting transported to all sorts of different time periods. We end the issue with swashbuckling on a ship, but right in the middle, in medieval times, they have a little uprising / civil war of their own. Everyone's in nice little armor. And as they're about to go out to battle, this is the line that made me laugh for a good minute. It was Ben Grimm saying, "Milady, it is the clubbering hour." It was just hysterical. It just completely took me off guard. But I've been really loving Hickman's run on Fantastic Four, and I can't wait to see how he finishes it. Next up from DC is Jonah Hex number 42. Now, I haven't picked Jonah Hex for a while, and it's a shame because it's always been a consistently good title. However, this issue really got me pretty pumped because it's another kind of little backstory on Jonah Hex and his upbringing and how he became the badass that we know and love today. He had a really rough childhood. His father was constantly trying to train him to be a man, get him nice and strong, and make sure he had quick hands. You know, he would tie rocks to his hands and make him hold them out, and just to gain upper arm strength. And his mom was always cuddling him, and his dad didn't want any of that, thought it, make him a pansy or whatnot. But if there's one lesson to be learned from this issue, it's that you never mess with the Hex, because like father, like son, they'll both kick your ass lickety-split. And finally this week we have, from Marvel, Secret Warriors number 3. Now the Secret Warriors are doing recon against, on Hydra, and they're seeing that they've been infiltrating X-Shield bases and gaining all this technology and whatever they need for their little operation. Well, they find out that Kraken is on one of the X-Shield bases of Red Worm, and they decide that might be the best time to go and maybe try to stop him. Turns out Gorgon, who was resurrected last issue, is with them, and the Secret Warriors make the mistake of trying to go up against them. One of them even loses their hands because they are no match for the quickness and the speed and the deadliness of Gorgon. So the issue ends with Nick Fury calling up some backup of his own. That's right, it's Dum Dum Dugan to the rescue. So it's going to be a moment to see those two, those two best friends come and work together again in this great, great little title by Jonathan Hickman. Well, comic book fans, that does it for this week in comics. If you want more Cammy's Comic Corner goodness, go to www.cammyscomiccorner.com. And from there you can subscribe to us on RSS feed or on iTunes. Also, if you like any of the bitchin' t-shirts that you see me wearing, like the Blackest Night, it's coming, people. They had preview art this week. Head on over to www.deadlinegraphics.net and send Kelly an email. The deal for April is buy any 3 shirts, get the 4th one free. So now is the best time to stock up on your comic book t-shirts. There's only one name that I trust when it comes to comic book t-shirts, and that's Kelly over at www.deadlinegraphics.net. And thanks to Kelly, we have a Cammy's Comic Corner Fan Appreciation Contest. And the winner for this week, and drum roll please, is Lynn Guerrera of Tampa, Florida. I'm sorry that I butchered your last name, Lynn, but congratulations, you're the winner of this week. She requested a Havoc from the X-Men t-shirt, so Kelly went ahead and made one. And remember, keep on emailing them, people. All you have to do to enter the contest is email Kelly, send your t-shirt size, what t-shirt you want, your mailing address, and your first and last name. And a winner will be randomly chosen every week, so you gotta enter every week if you didn't win this week. Well, comic book fans, that does it for this week for Cammy's Comic Corner. If you haven't seen any of this kick-ass Blackest Night art, it's just getting me so thrilled and excited because this is right around the corner. I just cannot wait. Jeff Johns, in you we trust. In Jeff Johns we trust. So, this has been Cammy's Comic Corner. Like I've said before, have a good week. And card trick.